Sandy, 250th game this weekend. You take a moment to reflect this week on your career?
Probably not at this point in time. I think, obviously that will be something down the track when it's all done and dusted, but I suppose it's more to recognise the people behind the scenes that do a fair amount of work that goes unnoticed by the outside world, but had a lot of people and a lot of support over the journey.
Yeah. Who are those people that sort of stand out?
Yeah, obviously family first and foremost. Been fortunate enough with mum and dad and brother and sister growing up and had their support the whole way, and then my wife and kids now as well, so they generally keep you pretty grounded and sacrifice a fair bit to allow me to do what I do. And then you get so many great coaches along the journey as well, and physios and club doctors and all that, so there's a lot of people that have contributed.
Yeah. Is there one person that stands out in your football perspective?
Yeah, look, I've got a really good relationship with Simon Eastall. When I first arrived at the club my first year, got to play, it was his last year on the list, and played a fair amount of footy with him down at Fremantle together, and he's put a heap of time into me as a person and a footballer, and he's helped make me that better person and a good footballer as well.
You talk about the start of your career, you had to do it the hard way, coming on the rookie list, and you had a few back issues at the start. I suppose you might not have thought that you might get there at all onto a list at one point? Yeah,
look, I never thought I was good enough, to be honest. Country boy growing up, moved to the city, and got asked to go and train at Fremantle, and that all happened, and got the opportunity to get picked up on the rookie list, which was a massive surprise to me and the family, and just thought, I'll give it a crack for 12 months, and if I can manage to get on the main list, I'll be stoked, and it sort of all went from there.
Yeah, I suppose you'd be in favour of keeping the rookie list for guys like you that maybe don't develop straight away, but
yeah, look, it really worked well for me. Being able to sort of be on the list and train, and you just learn so much. So I think it was a great way for me to come through and onto the system.
How hard was it your first AFL training? Do you remember sort of the step up in level when you first got to Fremantle?
Yeah, and I think very daunting as well. You go from watching AFL games of footy on the TV and idolising guys, and then next thing you know, you're walking into the change rooms and you think, shit, I don't really belong here. And it took a long time for me to get comfortable, even just walking into the change room. So I was fortunate enough, I knew Sean McManus outside of it, and Luke Toyer back then was the jokester of the group, so he sort of took me under his wing a little bit as well and showed me the way, but you'll never forget it.
Yeah. Pav tells a story about, I think, his first training where he sort of was running laps, I think doing time trials, and ended up running into the ground and collapsing. Do you have any horror stories like that from your early days?
No, I was fortunate enough, nothing to that degree. But yeah, look, as I said, it's just such a big learning curve when you first walk in the door, to even just playing your first game.
Do you remember your first game?
Yeah, I do. It was against Adelaide, and it was Wayne Carey's first game for them. So they were swinging from the rafters, and sort of all the family and friends were there, and we got pumped that day. But never forget it.
Who did you play against in the ruck?
It was Clark. Yeah, Matthew Clark. So he was a great ruckman, and someone I hold in high regard as a good footballer, and got taught a pretty good lesson on my first game.
When did you feel comfortable in the AFL and thought, I can actually make it at this level? Do you remember one particular moment?
Oh, would have been a number of years. It took me a fair while to develop, and was fortunate enough, got an opportunity to play a fair amount of footy in my early days, and learned so much from doing that. So, but yeah, it would have been 4 or 5 years into the system before I felt comfortable.
You've had pretty good durability over your career. What do you put that down to?
Yeah, not too sure. I think you go into each summer to try and prepare yourself as best you can. To get yourself through a season. They're long seasons, and they take their toll. But I think you have some great people along the way. We've got great physios, great sports science guys, and I think they play a massive part into durability.
There was a period there between, I think, 2011, 2013, we had a few injury issues, and people were starting to think maybe you were coming towards the end of your career. Yep. Did you think that as well?
No, look, I always had the drive and ambition to get back. I think when that's there, it sort of doesn't cross your mind at all. And you just love playing the game. So, when the love and the passion is there, and the willingness to get back, it makes it a lot easier, I think.
Yeah, you talk about that, the enjoyment of the game still. There's talk that you could go on next year, talking about a contract extension. Is that what it comes down to? Is just you still enjoy footy and being around the club?
Yeah, I think that's one thing, and the other one's making sure you can still contribute. So if those two things are still happening, later in the year, and the club still want me, we'll wait and see.
Get to play 250th in a derby. That must be special in itself. But what are some of your favourite derby moments? To be involved in any derby is great. It's such a good thing for the whole state. A lot of people get behind it. A lot of families have both Fremantle and West Coast supporters in their household. So it's a great game to be involved in, and there's been some good moments throughout. Nothing that sticks to mind, but you just enjoy running out there come game day and hopefully getting the 4 points. Bit of a low moment last year when had the incident obviously with Nick Nat and his knee.
Yep.
Did you think at some stage last year that maybe you might not get back from that, or did you always want to come back? It must have been pretty tough.
Yeah, look, I think obviously the first couple of weeks was pretty tough, not being able to do too much, but then slowly, obviously once you get up and moving again, the drive and the determination was there to get back, and I was always keen to get back out there.
You had some great battles with Dean Cox over the years. Is he your toughest opponent?
Yeah, look, he's right up there. I'd say he would be. Just the way he, great tap ruckman, but also he's, the way he moves around the ground, and his spread work is, exceptional. So they were really tough battles, and someone that I hold in high regard in terms of football.
How have you managed the travel over the years? Obviously, it's not easy for anyone travelling from Perth every second week, but someone your size, that must be a bit difficult. What's your travel routine like, and how hard is it to get over games when you have to travel?
Yeah, look, I think it's another thing that becomes part of your program. You're doing it on a consistent basis, so I think that's an advantage. You make sure you get up and move around on the plane, and you're not sitting down for too long, stuff like that. Making sure you're doing all your flex and extra recovery type work around it. But it's part of the game, so there's not too much you can do about it. You just get used to it.
Do you always get a business class seat? Surely.
The last couple of years has been a lot better. I think since I turned 30, it's made a difference. Try and get up there whenever we can.
Obviously, 2013, the grand final. Have you watched that game back? Does that still burn?
Yeah, look, it does. You work so hard to get to have a crack at it, and then for the result not to go your way, and you're back to square one the following year. I think that's what hurts the most, knowing that you've got so much more work to do to get another opportunity to play in one. And I think that will live with you for the rest of my life.
Have you watched it?
No, I haven't.
No, it never will.
Probably not.
Yeah. That hunger still burn there to win a flag with this group?
Yeah, no doubt. I don't think I would be. I think that's a major motivator. The drive to get there to have another go.